Hi, this week my special guest is Steve Backlund, who's one of the associate pastors at the Bethel Church in Reading. He's also the author of this book, Igniting Faith. And when I read this book, I was absolutely caught by the part of the book where Steve suggests we take a negativity fast. And I thought this was an amazingly difficult concept. So I asked Steve to explain what he means by negativity fast. But maybe, Steve, why don't we start by saying, where did you get this idea of a negativity fast?
Well, Grant, it's a fascinating thing. I remember I was on an extended season of fasting food, and I felt like the Lord said, Steve, your food fasts really aren't doing a whole lot of good. I said, oh, thanks, Lord, for the encouragement. But he said, I said, what do you mean? He said, Lord, I appreciate so much your heart to just press into me. But the positive of your food fast plus your overall general negativity equals a big zero. And I felt like the Holy Spirit said, Steve, why don't you try a 40-day negativity fast? So that's where it began from.
Well, that sounds impossible to most of us. And so what is a negativity fast and how do you do it?
Well, a negativity fast, it comes from the foundation that what we believe ultimately is more important than what we do, and that our beliefs about things. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so the Holy Spirit said, Steve, your problems aren't so much your circumstances. Your problems are the conclusions that you're placing on what's going on. And so a negativity fast is all about identifying core beliefs within us that are actually blocking our just the very promises of God in our life, or the transformation that Romans 12:2 says.
So how do we actually do the negativity fast?
Well, let me refer to this book, because in the back I write, what a negativity fast is not and what it is. And so the first thing I say, what a negativity fast is not, it is not denying that problems exist. We're not talking about denial. It's not stuffing things that are wrong. It's not being critical of others who may be struggling, with negative things in their own lives. And it's not irresponsible about things that need to be done. So what is it? I write, it is determining to focus more on God's promises than on problems. And getting a plan to say, I'm going to feed my life with positive truth, with scriptures, with teachers of faith, teachers emphasizing the promises of God. It's learning to speak with hope about even the most difficult circumstance. I love Hebrews 10:23. It says, let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And God will never ask us to do something that we cannot do. And so I just knew right there, okay, I know, because Hebrews 10:23 is the basis of a negativity fast, of speaking hope, even in the toughest situations. It's becoming more solution-focused than problem-focused. It's saying, I may not know what the answer is, but there is an answer. It's refrain from reacting and giving voice to pessimism, criticism of others, self-criticisms, and forms of unbelief. It's speaking about problems to the right people in the right way, and it's replacing negative words and thoughts with positive words and thoughts based on the promises of God.
Well, that's amazing, because I know most of you listening are thinking, that's impossible. I could never give up negativity. But you see, this is doable with God's help. So thanks, Steve. And I want to recommend this book, Igniting Faith. It will make you uncomfortable, but it will change your life. And you can, there's a link to this book and to other books that Steve's written. How many have you written now?
I've written 7 books.
Wow. So there's a link to where you can order this book from Steve, because this book and others that he's written will change your life, because he doesn't let you stay comfortable. He's a very uncomfortable author. So thanks, Steve, for joining us.
Well, thank you, Grant.
Now we want to hear from you. This has been a real challenge for you to give up negative thinking. So in the box below, I want you to tell me, how are you planning to stop negative thinking habits? And if this is your first visit here, then you need to get my free 4-week self-assessment guide. And to do that, just subscribe to my free weekly email newsletter by filling out the subscription form right there. And we'll talk to you again next week.